Greetings. Today I'm going to bring you part 3 in my short Lenormand series here on YouTube. Um, I'm normally, if you're new to the channel, I normally read tarot. Um, but Lenormand, I have been using Lenormand cards in conjunction with my tarot readings for quite a few years now. I don't do it all the time. I do like it. I particularly like the succinct answers you can get from reading Lenormand. It's a quick, if you want a quick answer, or clarification quickly on another reading, um, or just on its own. It's a really nice, brief, brief answer. Doesn't give you all the information that a regular tarot reading can give you. But another reason I like to use it, and particularly an exercise such as I want to share with you today, is Lenormand is read differently than you read a tarot deck. Tarot cards and Lenormand cards are not the same. You can't substitute one for the other. They are completely a different system. Tarot cards are what we call a visual system. They're a visual oracle. And for the most part, not always, but anything that has the illustrated minors, um, the pictorial minors, some kind of scene depicted in the illustration on the minor arcana cards, particularly. The illustrations are there because it's meant to be visual clues, visual, maybe um, inspiration, or focal points when you read the card, something to concentrate on, something to consider what's in the image of the card. So it's a very visual kind of a thing. And even if you're reading pip cards, like if you're reading a Marseille deck, if you're reading pip cards in with the minors, that kind of a system, you're still normally reading a spread. And it's how the cards really relate to each other. And it's how you see them relating as well. It's not just how they relate, because there's no black and white answers for what the cards mean, but you can get a lot of information for how they relate. The presence of a lot of one kind of an element, or the presence of maybe there's a lot of people in your spread, or maybe there's you know, people turning the direction that the cards are facing, or maybe you can see their card being really out of balance. And if you know what I mean, if you've ever read an astrological chart, you know what I'm talking about. When you see the disbursement of the planets and the houses on an astrological chart, sometimes they're all skewed over into one place. My chart is like that. My chart is very out of balance. I have so many things in one place in my chart. It doesn't matter. It's not bad. It's just, that tells you something right away, just at first glance. A tarot reading can do that for you. A Lenormand reading is not that way. A Lenormand reading is not, um, it's not visual. It's verbal. It's verbal. And that's what we determined in, I think, the first video in this series, that it is verbal. Each of these symbols in the deck really represent a word or two. That's all. And they really don't give you they don't give you a lot of meaning. Okay. Um, but it's how they apply to each other, how you form a sentence, a statement, putting the cards together that matters. Now, I've been saying, and I'm going to do pretty much a video on it, I believe, because it's really been on my mind, that so many people are reading abbreviated forms of tarot so often. I think we're getting a little bit lazy, and we want to just pull one card in tarot and see what it says and be done, we call it a day. Well, that's a whole other issue. It's kind of possible to do that, but it's really not what tarot is meant to do at all. Um, and that, again, that's a subject for another reading, another video. But it's that ability. I think the reason that people get lazy in tarot is because it's so difficult to put cards together. It's so difficult to see how they relate to each other. It takes a little bit of time. takes a little bit of study, and we're not people that like to spend too much time studying. We want instant answers, right? Well, that's where Lenormand can come in handy for those kind of people that need instant answers, number one. But also, just this little exercise we're going to do about how, because with the process of how we learn to read Lenormand is a very helpful exercise for people that are really wanting to learn to read tarot. That's why I'm including, that's one of the reasons I'm including it here on my channel, because I know a lot of people are trying to learn to read here with us. And a lot of you have taken classes with me or are considering taking classes with me. And this is a really good exercise that we can do that goes really much in line with my method of teaching tarot is doing these little two card, three card exercises to develop, to hone our Lenormand skills, which will also help us hone our tarot reading skills. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to change my camera and I'm going to show you, we're going to take a really good look at the cards so I can show you what I mean. It's kind of a simple thing, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, the deck that I'm using today is the Alexandra Musrock's Lenormand Oracle cards, and I really like this deck because it's, especially for purposes of YouTube, for using on video, because you can see very clearly what card, the illustrations are so simple, like dog is dog, ship is ship, anchor is anchor, snake is snake. There's no really real question. Lady is lady or woman is woman. Mice. It's very easy to see. Sun, the illustration, what card it is. There's no question. Okay, so and this deck comes, in case you're interested. This is the box. It's very inexpensive on eBay. eBay on I got this off of Amazon. It's very inexpensive, and it does have 3 alternate cards that you can use: an alternate lady or woman, gentleman or man, and child. The child is gender difference, male and female, but the difference between male and female is not, there's no difference in skin tone or anything, or even in status. It's just different poses. So there's really not a lot of difference there. But again, it's a simple deck. It doesn't, it's not priced to be anything but a just straightforward, simple Lenormand deck. But Alexander Musrock has a channel here on YouTube too. I think he's pretty well known for his Lenormand. So you might want to check him out. But anyway, last week in part 2, we talked about well, first of all, in part 1 we talked about the differences between tarot and Lenormand. I think that's pretty obvious now that when you see the cards you can see, pretty obvious. That's a letter. It's not telling you anything about the letter. It's just telling you that's a letter. It's on a plate. It has a seal on it, but other than that, it doesn't give you any more meanings. So there's really no question, what that could be. And then last week, then the second part 2 of the series, we talked about the importance of learning both the number and the word for the card. This was letter. It's card number 27 is letter, and what that means. Some kind of a little short meaning, 1 word, 2 word meaning for the word, for the card, so we can use it in these sentences that I'm talking about. And in our case, like we talked about, letter was a correspondence, and it's usually in writing, a written correspondence. It could be an email or a letter, a postcard, a text. Okay, there's number 5, the tree. Always is, it has to do with health or maybe your legacy or something like that. Anchor, 35 is anchor, has to do with hard work or something stable, stability, security of some kind. Very simple answers. Size, number 10, something that's cut away, or something, it could be something sharp. Think of a blade sharp, it could be words that is sharp, or just something that hurts a lot because it's painful. Okay, and again, there's a child, number 13. Just like you would think of a child. It could be an actual child, but it also could be just something new or something innocent. the beginning of something. Okay, so very, very simple meanings for the cards. But you see, if I just put letter, I'm looking at that by itself, a single word, letter. What is that going to mean? What does that mean to me? It could mean, okay, I said it could be an email, it could be a text, or some kind of written correspondence. But you see, it's not giving me any more information, really. Like, what is that telling me? Okay. But when we put it with another card, all of a sudden it can have more meaning. The letter now has to do with something about number 14, which is the fox, which is something that's maybe something cheating me, or maybe I'm being cheated, or maybe it's about a liar, or maybe somebody, it could have to do with, a manipulation of some kind. So, okay, so this, now all of a sudden we have a little more meaning when we put down two cards. Okay, the same goes for, here I go, I put down number 20, which is the garden. Okay, that has to do with a celebration or some kind of a group, gathering of some kind, or community. It doesn't tell me much, give me much information, but if I put it with another card, all of a sudden, it is the mice card, number 23, and the mice is something that is something is being, it talks about a disease or something that is being taken away, or it's being stolen. Well, look at this. Here's a group. Here's a group has been taken away. Something, a celebration. Maybe it's about a celebration that is not happening, have been canceled. Okay, maybe it's something that's been canceled. Okay, so you see, when we put two cards together, it means everything, Lenormand. We want to put at least two. We might be talking about putting 3 cards. Okay. We don't put 10 cards. I mean, we do, like when we're doing the grand tableau. We'll get into that later, but it's really, a grand tableau has a lot of little messages that we want to concern ourselves with. Right now, we're going to simply not get ahead of ourselves, and we're going to talk about, just do a little exercise with 2 cards. We do something of this in tarot, but this is really what a Lenormand reading is about. Okay, and there's only 2 things you have to remember. One thing you have to remember, when I put down one card, the first card that I put down here on my left is the subject card. Whatever this is the topic of the reading. And this card, the put down number 2, is going to be something that modifies this topic, or explains this topic, or describes it in some way, okay? So this is a descriptor. This could be an adjective, or it could be an adverb. It could answer, maybe why something, how something happens. This happens, why, or this is, doing something, doing what. Okay, but this is the topic of our sentence that we're going to make. Okay, now when we read it this way, you can begin to see that this is going to really make it clearer why we want to really learn these answers, these topics real quickly. To try to look it up, it's sort of contraindicated from what we're doing. We want it to be a little bit quick. It's like a quick kind of a thing. So here we go. The topic of this is about the man, number 28, and the man is typically a man. I mean, that's just a literal man. So the man, what about the man? This question is going to answer, what about the man? Oh, the man, number 33, the key, has some kind of knowledge. Okay, that's what we would say, first of all. Maybe has some kind of knowledge, or a man has some kind of, has a secret, not a secret, a secret, some kind of things that we don't know. Well, that's a little tricky here, because first of all, the subject is about the man. It's not about this secret. Okay, so if it were about this secret, it should be in this order. There's some kind of knowledge about a man. There's some kind of secret about a man. Okay, this way, the man is the secret. The man has the answer. Do you see the difference? The man holds the answer. The man. It's about the man. We need to find the man to find the answer. Okay? This way, there's a secret involving a man. Now, many of you might argue that some of those are almost the same thing, and they can be almost the same thing. And that's okay. That's okay. That just comes with practice. But the important part is to remember, the only thing you need to remember is whatever comes up first. That is the focus. And that will come even clearer when we go to put a third card. It's still about the man. It could be about the man having a secret, but it's still having a man. The man might have a secret about the anchor, which is maybe hard work or working hard. Maybe he's secretly doing something. Maybe the man is secretly has a secret job. Okay, but it's about the man. Okay, it's not about the job. It's not about the secret. They're incidental to what we're saying, but the man is what holds it. Okay. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's take this card, which is something to do with, again, we said something to do with hard work or some kind of stability of some kind. Ah, and look at that. Hard work. It's about the hard work. And what's the payoff here? Well, the payoff would look to be romance or some kind of love. Except it's not about the love. It's on the left. It's about the work. Love does not come easy, does it? It's hard work. Loving people is hard work. It would be hard work. It could also be stability, the stability that results from love, the stability that results from having a romance, the stability. You see how that reads? That it just could affect your heart. This could be a literal heart. It could be your heart health, your heart in your body, beating in your body. Or it could be how hard work affects the heart. It's about the work, about the stability. I know these are going to sound curious. That's why. Here we go. We have a ring, which is some kind of a promise or contract. Maybe it could be a contract, some kind of something. And then here is the ship, which is some kind of traveling or something. It might have a if it's something moving, it's usually something with an engine. Okay. So it could be travel, could be a trip, and here is 25 is the ring, which is the promise. This is the promise. I promise you we're going to take a trip. Or the promise is, maybe the promise is movement, the promise that we're going to be able to move soon. Could be. But it's about the promise. Okay. It's something about the promise. It could be about a contract. Maybe a contract. And maybe the contract is moving. Maybe we're going to transfer ownership or transfer partnership or, some kind of contract could be moving. It's moving. Okay. Do you see the importance of doing these exercises? We go over and over and over and just try to look at possibilities and try to check ourselves. This is the clover. This is a little bit of luck, some kind of luck. Having to do with what? This is interesting because here we have the clouds. And the clouds have to do with confusion or a misunderstanding. So maybe the luck, it was lucky. Maybe the understanding was lucky. The luck is the key. The luck doesn't necessarily cause misunderstanding. It could, but maybe, I was just lucky and you misunderstood. I didn't steal that. I didn't steal the money. I just was lucky, perhaps. Okay. But this is just a little bit of luck. Just a little bit of luck. Not a big lottery win, so it wouldn't be that. Okay. But maybe because I'm lucky all the time, I'm misunderstood. People are jealous of me. Maybe there's some confusion involved. Okay. I am not an expert in this, but I'm telling you, this is a good example because you start to see, as long as I keep going back, this is about 16. I want to keep going back to the idea of wishes or hopes or something is visible. Ah, something being visible. What is visible? This is about some kind of a message. Remember, this is a written message. And it's the visibility of the message of something written that is the subject of this reading. Okay? The visibility, maybe it's an email that God, accidentally sent to the wrong person. It's about the message. It's about the email. Okay? I mean, it's about being visible. I'm sorry. It's about it being visible. It's not about the email. It's not an email about, see, if we're backwards, this could be an email about something that you're wishing for or your hopes. Okay. It could be that, but it's not. It's about the visibility. It's about, because that's the first card. That's the first card on the left. So it's the visibility about something, a message that is visible. It being visible is the subject of the reading. Okay. Here's another one. We have the bear, which is, it could be a boss, an employer, or it could be like a protector of some kind. It could be a father figure. And here is 20. We have 20, which is the garden. In a group, it could be a group, or it could be a celebration. So it could be a boss, your employer celebrating, the employer's celebration. It could be about his a public or the group. This is the person who is in charge of a group, a person. This is about being in charge of a group. Okay. This is a person in charge who is being celebrated. Maybe it's a retirement party, something like that. It could be your protector, your father. It could be your father. Maybe it's your father's wedding. You see that? He's the focus. The bear is the focus of the reading. First card is the focus. The cross is the burden. Some kind of burden or some kind of sacrifice. Oh, and here we have the 14, which is the fox, which is, of course, a liar or a manipulator or something. Something cheating. It's the cheat. It's the burden. It's the burden caused by somebody cheating. It's the burden caused by somebody cheating. It's the burden caused by somebody manipulating or lying, causing a burden for other people. Maybe it's causing us to cover up a burden, a liar. Maybe it's the aftermath of a cheat. This is the problem caused by this. I hope this is making sense to you. I'm urging you to watch through because some of them are easier to understand than others. And I might even have some that confused, but I don't think so. This is a path or a choice, number 22, coming into some kind of decision that we're going to make. So that is the subject, is about that decision or that choice. And here is about thievery or about something, the mice, here we go again, the mice, the disease taking away a choice, something is going to be taken away because of this choice. Does that have to do with you win some, you lose some? Something you win, something you lose? Can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You're going to lose something. I like that one. Here we go. The rider, which again is movement of some kind, maybe a message coming. And this is the bouquet, which is big luck. Okay, so this is maybe a message of a really lucky thing happening. This is good news. This is really good news coming to you. Really good news coming. It could be new. It could be news about, or it could be a gift. It could be a really neat gift coming that you didn't know you were getting, maybe. Okay. Here we have the scythe, which is cutting and sharp and hurting in some way. And here we have a book. And the book has to do with maybe secrets. So what is cut? What is hurtful? It is about the pain. It is about the pain. Okay, this causes this. This causes this. this kind of secret, maybe it could be secret or some kind of knowledge, causes hurt, causes pain. It's about the pain. Here we have the coffin, which is the ending, something ending. It's like the death card in tarot, something pain, it's just over and done. And here is 12 is the birds or the owls. In some decks, it's the owls. And that is something taken away. Something is, no, I'm sorry. It's about a small group. I don't know what I was thinking. It's a small group. It is, or communication between a small group. It could be gossiping or whatever. But this is something is taken. Something is done. Something is done because of this gossip or talking and something, or something is done. What is done? A group breaks apart, finishes, you know, an imploding coven. I don't know. Something, but it is about this, something being done. Something is just being done. Okay. Here we go. Two more. I've got a child, which is the beginning or something new, and it's something to overcome. Right? 21 is the mountain. Something has to be. Oh, it's an obstacle. So there's a new obstacle in your path. It's not about the obstacle though. It is about what? Something just beginning. It's not so much that the obstacle is beginning, but it is the beginning. Here we go. This is maybe the first obstacle in a long line of obstacles. Maybe this is the first thing that you have to do when you start out a new beginning, when you're starting how to start something new and fresh. You've got to get over a hump first. You've got to get over this bump first, and then you're off and going. It's about the new. It's about the beginning. It's not about the obstacle. See the important difference? Do you see the important difference? You need to talk it out because when you first say it, sometimes it doesn't make sense. This is about a friendship because like right now when I'm talking about a friendship, it is about a friendship. It is about something, a loyal friend, something I can trust, somebody I can trust. And here we have, it's a woman. Okay. This is a new friend. It's about the friend. And this is a woman. Okay, so the woman is what? A new friend. It's not a romantic involvement. It's a friend. It's somebody trusting. Somebody I can really trust. I'm looking for somebody who really I can really trust. I'm going to find that in a woman. A woman I probably know. Okay? You know who your friends are. And in my case, I got to find a woman. Here we go. A snake. This is the opposite, right? This is somebody who is this could be the other woman in a relationship, or it could be somebody deceiving or something deceiving. It's about the deceit. It's about the maybe envy. And here we have the stork, number 17, which is about moving, causing a movement or change. So something, this is the movement or change is not the subject though. If it were, here, it would be a movement or change caused by the other woman, or the movement or change caused by deceit. But it is not. It is about, it's the deceit, the deceit, the envy, which is the subject. And here is moving or changing. So it's really a change in feeling. It could be a change in feeling of envy. All of a sudden, we are not envious anymore. Maybe it was it's some kind of a deceit that we've moved past. We've moved past. Maybe it was the other woman, but that has ended. Moving on. That relationship has ended. It's time to move. It's time to change. Okay, just a few more in the deck. I'm just going to go through it because you can't do this too many times. I'm telling you, you cannot do too many times. Here we have a whip. Sometimes it might be a broom. Sometimes it might be a whip and a broom, but it's the same. It is number 11, and it always has to do with something that is repetitive, maybe a punishment, but it's something that just repeats and repeats and repeats. And here we have the tree, which has to do with health, or it can also have to do with like your legacy, something that your life's work kind of a thing. Maybe it's just but it's 11. It is that repetitiveness, or but it's a punishment. It could be a punishment here, a punishment. It could be an illness. It could be a recurring, something that recurs all the time, just a little bit at a time, eating away, some kind of a, um, you know, something that happens over and over and over again, like it could be a chronic illness, but it's the chronicness. It's a little bit at a time, always happening. Or it could be like, my first impression when I saw this is, remember the Practical Magic, the movie Practical Magic? They had the curse on the women in the family that anybody they fell in love with would die. It's something over and over and over again, no matter who they fell. And that was the legacy of being in their family. It was like a family curse. I don't think this is going to talk about a family curse. I don't think we have family curses, but that was kind of um, that's a little tricky one. That's a little tricky. Some of them are much easier than others. That's the idea. Here we have the moon, and the moon has to do with your reputation, how people remember. This is like the um, ascendant card. This is the mask that you wear that other people see in your astrological chart. This has to do with your reputation, what impression you leave on people, or it could be about your dreams. And here it is about, this is the tower, and this is either going to represent some kind of a hierarchy of some kind, like a corporate hierarchy, or it could represent like isolation, like we think of Rapunzel being in her tower. So this would depend very much on what is the context of your reading. Okay, if it's about job or work, um, this 32 has to do about how people are impressed with you at work. This is about your impression that you're leaving with your coworkers, or this is about your idea, you're dreaming, and what you dream about to be your ideal job. It's about this aspiration or this dream or this impression that is the subject of this reading. Okay? I think we have maybe two more. Here we have the house. This has to do with your little house or your little home or your family, you know. And this has to do with number 30 is harmony. It's harmony in the family. But it's not the family, it's not harmony with, this would be the harmony that's in the family. This would be the family is what brings you harmony. Being with the people you love brings harmony into your life. This is what's important. This is the family is the topic of the card. It could also mean that you're a little bit naive. You could be a little bit naive about your family, except again, I would think that would be in this direction. Your naivete about your family. Here, I just think it's here. Your family is what grounds you. Your family is what brings you peace and harmony. That's what I think. Okay. And one more for the two cards. This is about money. Fish is for fertility, number 34. And here we have the sun, number 31, which is all about joy or being visible or seeing that you can see it. Okay. So, now this is a little tricky because if it were this way, your joy is based on your fertility. Your joy is based on your money or right? Your assets brings you joy. This way, does money buy happiness? Does money buy happiness? See, I don't think that's what this says either, because if I say your money buys happiness, happiness would be the topic of this reading, and it's not. Money or assets is the topic. So I don't think we would read it that way. I would say that this is more like your abundance, or your fertility, or your assets are visible, are visible. This could be a warning. Somebody might have hacked into your bank account, right? Give it a thought. You see, right away, these look like two really positive cards, but are they? Are they? Okay. So that's one way to do it. Now, of course, in a more advanced way to do it is if we put down 3 cards, and I won't go through the whole deck this time. I just want to show you. This has to do with movement, okay, or some kind of travel. Is this topic, and it's modified by what? Reputation, or how people see you, and your health, okay? It is about travel. This could be dreams as well. You travel for your dreams, um, or your health. It could be that, but it's about the travel. I just need to get away. I'm going to go nuts if I don't. I really, really, really need to do that. That's all I can think about. That's all I can think about. Okay, that could be. See, it gets a little trickier, doesn't it? You have to spend a little bit longer time. This is about that cutting away. Not cutting away, that repetition over and over and over again. Some kind of punishment. Oh, punishment over what? Number 30. That's a little tricky. Over something of harmony in the home. Punishment, harmony, home. How would we deal with that? Punishment? How about repetitive? See, that doesn't make any sense. Punishment, harmony, and home. How about repetitive? How about repetitive? I'm constantly seeking harmony in the home. I feel like it's a constant job. I have to work at it constantly. It's the repetitiveness that is the subject. Take your time, read the cards, look at the cards, read the frame on your screen, and give that a little bit of thought. This is what the topic is. The harmony is not the topic. The home is not necessarily the topic. It is this constant having to work constantly, doing over and over and over again to seek. I'm always trying to do it. Okay? This is not a positive card. And that's the last point I want to make to you today on this video. But I want to reiterate, and you can see it very well in this example, this is not a positive card. This is about repetitive. Think about somebody being flogged or whipped. Okay? Think about somebody using a broom, if it's a broom in your deck, sweeping away negative things, sweeping away, constantly have to sweep it because the dirt just keeps coming back. You're constantly doing it. Okay? So this is not really a positive card. These are positive cards out of context. They're very positive. I mean, we tend to think of them. This is positive. This, we tend to think of your home and is positive, and it doesn't hurt that the guy with the heart, the card with the heart, or whatever that is, Jack of Hearts probably. It doesn't hurt that heart's standing above it. Okay, but it is the repetitiveness, always having to work over again, trying to achieve these two things. This is the focus of the reading of these 3 cards. Okay. So this is an example. This is an example of what I'd like you to do. If you have a Lenormand deck, it really would help you. I recommend it very highly for you to try that exercise over and over again. Try with the 2 cards. Shuffle the cards. Do it again with a different combination. Here we go. Now we have the bouquet, and we have the sun. Okay. What does it mean? This is the focus. Okay. The stork is the focus. That change, something new that something has been delivered is the focus. New, something new, moving. the moving, the changing of the guard, the changing of the guard, right? This is the focus, the security, the stability, the hard work that the man is always doing, the hard work, the stability that the man is always seeking. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. So anyway, I just mentioned in passing when I was using the 3 cards that all these cards, this is something else to think about, that all of these cards have both positive and negative. I mean, they are either either one of 3 things. They're either a positive card or a negative card, or they can be neutral. Think about it. Think about it. Let me give you some obvious ones. There we go. The Fox 14. That's a cheater and a liar, a manipulator. There's really nothing positive about that. There's really nothing positive about that. Okay. In my book, anyway. How about this? 23, the mice. This is a disease, something that takes away or something that is stolen. What's positive about that? That's negative. It's a negative card. Okay. Okay. What's this one? 21, the mountain. The mountain. It's something that's you have to overcome. It's some kind of an obstacle, or it's something that's going to take a really, really long time. None of those are really necessarily positive. But look at that. A true loyal friend. A true loyal friend, number 18, the dog. Something that you can trust. That's positive. It's very positive. Okay. How about that? The bouquet. The bouquet. The bouquet. Has to do with a gift or talents, or it has to do with some kind of luck. Big luck. It's big luck. So that's all good. That's good. Love, romance, number 24. Passion. Those are good things. Those are good things. So we've seen negative and we've seen positive, right? And then we see cards that a letter or an email. Could that be, is that negative or positive? It's neither. It depends on the other cards around it, right? It depends very much on what's with it, what its position is. Is it the subject or the topic, or is it a modifier? And what is it being modified by, or what is it? What modifies it? What modifies it, or what does it modify? Do you understand? Where does it? Is it number 1 or number 2 or 3 in the series in the? Okay, so that will depend. That will determine whether it's positive or negative. How about this? A coffin, the end of something, the absolute end. Absolute end. Well, usually we think about that as being negative, don't we? It's the death card in the tarot. But what happens if? But what happens if it's something? What if this is modifying something? What if this is the what if it is the end of a burden? Or what if it is the end of a disease? Then it's not. Then it's positive, isn't it? So that would even have to be considered a neutral card. So it depends on where they are. Okay, whether it's positive or negative. But if it is positive in the reading, it is positive. Unlike in a tarot reading, when we look at a tarot card, we always try to see something, a potential for some positivity, or the potential for some negativity in every tarot card when we're reading them. And usually, we have to be aware that, too much of a good thing or a little bit of a bad thing. Okay, the different, the variation of degrees of positive and negative. But in the Lenormand, it's kind of black and white. Whatever you see is what you get. But it can vary depending on, like I said, depending on the position the card is in, and the 1, 2, 3 usually changes everything. So if you have some time and you're interested, you have a Lenormand deck, Just practice. Shuffle your cards and practice and put out. Or you'd put out one card and practice how how this card affects it. How does this card affect it? How does this card affect it? How does this card affect it? Do you see that? How does this card affect it? Or opposite. How does it affect this card? 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 You see the meaning changes. The meaning changes with your order. All right. Am I giving you too much to think about? I hope not. I hope not. It's really very simple. That's the beauty of Lenormand. It's very simple, I think, and it's doable. It's doable. So when next time we meet, we're gonna maybe, I'm not sure. I'm gonna show you. I am gonna show you like the grand tableau. I might do other one in between. I'll give it a thought. I'll see how you're doing underneath. Give me your comments if you have any questions concerning anything about reading the cards individually or together. And then we can maybe do I don't know. I'll see. We're gonna do one or two more Lenormand in the series. Okay. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.